Nowadays, there's just something spooky about large platforms giving podcast interviews to certified full-time crash outs, because truly, you never know if it's gonna be their last interview. People are crashing out so bad, these rappers are dropping interviews and getting caught lacking in no less than 2 business days. First, it was YBC Duel after his Brandon Buckingham interview getting caught 24 hours later. Now, we're getting word that Q50wlil50, a rising rapper out of the south side of Chicago, has reportedly gotten murked in an ambush style setup. He recently had a DJU interview that released just 48 hours ago. And before that, DJU had previously interviewed Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Lil Scoom, who passed away shortly after their interviews. Bro had 3 people getting murked after their interviews in the last 6 months. It's so bad that after the last Q50wlil50 interview, people are saying that DJU's platform is cursed, you know, like Couch is cursed, or it's his fault that these people are dying. Well, from the outside looking in, it could seem that way with the amount of dissing and gangbanging that goes on in that channel. Many of these people had real ties to the streets that would have probably either led them to jail or an early grave, which he makes sure to say every single time.
And according to what I see online, y'all living a street life, okay? And y'all know, I'm sure y'all know by now, the 2 things that come with the street life, right? You a lot of young guys, and we've had several guys that, you know, left us this year. You feel me? This was a rough year for us, you know?
Unfortunately for Lil 50, the grave caught up to him before the rap lifestyle ever did. And the beef that caused it was completely insane. From his sister calling out the person behind it and putting a 20K bounty on his head.
That's 20K on somebody's head. I give y'all last 24 hours. I bet y'all whoever did whatever be killed. I'm done talking now.
To his own blood cousin trolling his death. There's too much to unpack right now, but we gotta get into this beef that took out a growing talent in the Chicago scene right now. But before we do, gang, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. Like, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 100K subs. Make sure you hit that link in the description at StaySafeWorld.com. Tap into the merch. Make sure you hit that damn notification bell so whenever I post, y'all are the first ones to see it, man. You already know. Tune in. Let's get into this right now. I know if you're a fan of drill music, you probably accidentally came across Q50 when searching through YouTube, you know, looking for Bloodhound Q50 videos. That's exactly how I found dude, along with another rapper from his area named Fully Chopped ×2. But they honestly have been running up a lot of views in a short period of time. You know those YN memes that have been going around talking about POV, a YN pulls up on you with a switch. Yeah, this is the real life version of that. These YNs are crazy and they're mad young. And it seems that people have been accusing them of trying to cosplay as Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Bloodhound Q50 for the longest. If those are who you look up to, you know off rip your life is ultimately cooked. However, they didn't just need the influence of the Bloodhounds to get this level of crash dummy in them. It was something that had been passed down. But one legendary crash out that you probably heard of. Lil 50 is a member of the notorious gang of Black P Stones from the West Inglewood area called PGF, or Psycho Gang Forever, named after their beloved member Psycho that was killed in 2017. Their biggest member was rapper PGF Nuke, who was making waves in the city a couple years back and even had a song with Polo G amongst a bunch of other rappers. But unfortunately, he never got a haircut and somehow got multiple carjack charges. So bro has been locked up for a minute now. He had a whole record deal and songs with huge rappers, but somehow got trapped in the hood again doing crash out shit. Bro had a whole deal and was doing carjack after carjack, but I wonder why he was doing those carjacks. Not gonna say on here. Off rip though, if that's what's going down with the older generation, I can only imagine that the younger generations of shooters like Lil 50 and his close friend Fully Chopped ×2 are completely fried. Lil 50 was originally from the 69 and Polina area. He said he was a jit and was bad as back in the day and would go around stealing from the neighborhoods. Stealing bikes eventually turned into bigger crimes, and he eventually jumped off the porch, having close ties to members over in the 59th and Polina area where PGF is from. He was pretty much raised by his sister who was only a couple years older than him due to a crazy family situation where his mother kicked them both out of the house. Off rip, these are pretty terrible circumstances, so his life eventually became a race to the crash out. Fully Chopped and him had extensive beef with multiple people online and in real life and were completely federal self-snitching about all of it. This activity gained them a lot of enemies, but it also got them a lot of fans and people tuning into their music.
Baby Doc and Big Doc Dad in the worst way on all my dead people. Folks dad with his Drake, folks dad with his buddy.
But ultimately, that's the same type of stuff that will kill you. So we got to get into how everything went down right now in chapter 2 with the beef that caused all this. I don't know if these dudes were trying to be Bloodhound Lil Jeff or King Von, but the type of shit they would put into detail in the internet was insane. There were so many people that were trying to end these dudes just based off the controversy that they were getting into that it could have been anyone. Imagine beefing with your own blood cousin to the point where your cousin is straight dissing you after you get killed. This is apparently what happened to Lil 50 after his supposed cousin Lil Speedy came out and dissed him after he died. Apparently their relationship was strained after Lil 50 stole Lil Speedy's pipe, and apparently Lil Speedy is tied in with Drill City on something like that, or the younger members of that. On top of this, Fully Chopped even pretty much admitting to shooting Lil Speedy's house a couple months ago. Bruh, these dudes be really moving like they don't enjoy their freedom, so it's not surprising when crazy shit happens. I'm never gonna get over that. While that seems like an altercation that was already crazy, there's an even darker beef that apparently claimed the lives of several other people that many people point out could have had something to do with the death of Lil 50. One of the most aggressive beefs that spread its way online is the crash out internet beef that PGF had with another set in the South Side area called 147. 147 is a group emerging out of the back of the yard neighborhood of the South Side. They have a buzzing rapper named Glockboy Bobo who was starting to recently make waves until he was arrested for several armed robberies. I mean, pretty much in all his music talks about armed robberies to the fullest, so I guess it makes sense that bro got arrested for multiple armed robberies, but he pretty much got cooked. While he's on the older side, like 27, 28, it seems that the younger members of 147 have been caught in a brutal war with the younger members of PGF that resulted in someone close to Blockboy Bobo getting killed. You see, Blockboy Bobo had a close friend named Murdoch, who allegedly had 10 bodies on some Ted Bundy type shit. Murdoch was killed in a revenge shooting back in 2022 when he was out walking his dog. However, his younger brother Baby Drake, aka Baby Doc, had close ties to the gang and 147 in general. However, things went too far one day a couple months ago, and the relationship between these two gangs would forever get even worse. It's not really sure what caused the beef with PGF, but it seems like due to the close proximity of these gangs, they've been beefing for a number of years over territory and get backs and all type of things that gangs could just be having problems with. Blockboy Bobo, like I said before, was arrested on an armed robbery just a couple days before a tragedy would strike on the brother of his best friend. Due to the fact they never released the names of the victims because they were so young, it's hard to tell if this scene is the one where Baby Doc died, but it seems like it could be when you line up the timing.
15-year-old boy is critically hurt in a shooting in West Inglewood. Chicago police say the teen was standing on the sidewalk near 57th and Walcott right by Henderson Elementary School. Police say a car pulled up, one person got out and started shooting. The teen.
On September 22nd, 2024, a 15-year-old boy, aka Baby Doc, was posted on the 5700 block of South Walcott Avenue. He was standing near a sidewalk at the location when an unknown vehicle pulled up and at least one person from the inside got out and began shooting at him, police said. They hit him multiple times in the legs, but the car was able to get away. When the police arrived, it was too late and he bled out from his injuries. Not too long after this, members of PGF took to social media and have been dissing this guy Doc repeatedly. Fully Chopped posted switches and guns, pretty much saying that he had something to do with it, you know, making everyone's job easier. Just because these dudes claim it though doesn't mean that they actually could have been, because obviously there's so many gangs in Chicago, it could have been anyone, but he was hardcore saying it that they had something to do with it. While the PGF shorties were making sure to go crazy online and claim this shooting, an ominous interview was set the scene for an eventual get back just a month later that we'll get into right now in the final chapter, the Kurt's Couch. Honestly, bro, DJU got a crazy record. 3 people getting killed after his interviews with him in 6 months. Now, is that because he's setting them up to die with his platform? Or is that because they were already crash outs and he was trying to monetize that? You know, at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to tell. It's a very nuanced argument, honestly. DJU 2 days ago posted an interview with Fully Chopped x2 and Lil 50, and people were not cool with it. In the interview, bro literally says like, yo, shouldn't y'all be in school? But he continues interviewing them. Honestly, kind of crazy, but I guess it's better he's giving them a platform instead of having them do crash out shit to get noticed. He tried to give a long-winded preachy moment saying you're either gonna die or go to jail if you stay in the streets, and they totally didn't even listen, bro. They were on their phones, real YN activity. One thing I did notice though is they all took the time that they could to diss every op that they had. They even ended the interview on that note, basically saying the ops. Lil 50 was saying he sweeps the streets and takes out the trash, pretty much implying that they're really about it. It's crazy though, but people are going to be forever saying that he got killed from this interview just because of the blatant disrespect. At the end of the interview, he made sure to say stay safe. You know, DJU had to give him a little warning, but just 48 hours later, DJU would be posting a condolence message because a crazily eerie shooting would take out Lil 50 just yesterday.
A boy was shot and killed overnight in West Woodlawn.
Courtney is live at Comer Children's Hospital with what we've learned. Courtney?
Yeah, good morning to you both. That boy was rushed here last night to the hospital after he was wounded in that shooting, but he did not survive.
Units over here now.
You can hear police dispatch audio right there revealing officers were met with a large crowd when they arrived on scene last night. According to police, the shooting happened just before 8:30 in the city's Woodlawn.
Apparently sometime between the interview and now, he would get into it with his cousin Lil Speedy. Many people believe that he dropped his pin to confront his cousin, but somehow, some way, the ops found his location. They think that he could have given it to them. At around 8:24 p.m. on October 22nd, shots would ring out in a dark alley in the 6600 block of South Chaplin Avenue in the West Woodlawn neighborhood. Lil 50 was discovered by witnesses laying in the alley after the shots. They called the police and attempted to revive him, but unfortunately, shortly after, he succumbed to his injuries and had multiple gunshot wounds. Lil Speedy would pretty much troll like crazy on his story and pretty much just have his sister looking crazy, which led to that video that I showed you before where his sister said that we put in 20, 30K on these people's heads, 20K on the person who did this and 30K on Speedy. And this is just going to continue the vicious cycle that we already know in Chicago. There's so many gangs in the city and there's so many shootings because you see how massive this city is that it's even hard to keep track of the stuff that even happened because there's so many people dying. It's like a real war zone going on right now and people are just trying to keep the score and run it up. And they honestly did have a promising career. They were making hundreds of thousands of views and they were mad young, still in school. They could have made something better of themselves, but they didn't have the people around them to teach them the ways to go. And you see how their families are already broken from the jump. So it's like, really, what type of other solutions do you really see them having? It's already cooked at this point. The only way that it's gonna have someone learn is maybe if they take this lesson of their homie dying and try to do something different. But at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to expect that when this is all you see on a non-stop basis, man. It's crazy, but hopefully they figure that stuff out and hopefully, you know, DJU's couch isn't really haunted and no one else dies. But I wouldn't be surprised because everyone he interviews is pretty much a crash out. So what more could you really expect, man? But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think. Real say shit. You already know what's going on, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.